What's up, guys? Let's see, let's fix that there. Looks a little bit better. We're more on the face now. What's up, guys? I just got home from work. Had some stuff going through my mind today while I was at work, just thinking about things, thinking about topics, listening to people talk about things that they're interested in. And it's kind of had a thought bond in my mind today about, like, is it sinful to watch football or organized sports, like anything, baseball, basketball, anything like that? Is it bad for a Christian to do those things? So in turn, is it sinful to watch or partake in events like that? It's kind of running through my mind today, and I figured I'd just make a quick video talking about my opinions on what I think of that. I may not be the best person to ask because I could really take sports or leave them. Grew up as a big UT fan, just haven't really been watching many games recently, partly, because UT's not the best. And partly just because we've been taking time to do some other things, working on our website, traveling, and just spending time with family. So we've really not had the time to do as much football watching because it takes so much time out of your day. But as I go around and hear more people talk about football, and it seems like this time of year, all you ever hear people want to talk about is football, 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 which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it even seems to get brought up at church a lot, and even from the pulpit, sometimes there'll be references made to football. So it just made me want to explore the thought of, is it sinful to be into football? And to really get into that, is it sinful to be into football? I can't say that it's directly sinful to watch a game of football. To sit down and watch UT play Alabama like they did Saturday, no, there's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. You're sitting down and you're just enjoying a pastime. We've all got pastimes. Like I said, we've been doing a lot of traveling and, going on hikes and drives and all kinds of different adventures. And we love to do that, and we have a great time exploring, the world, and we're exploring the state mainly right now, but just exploring in general. We have a great time doing that as our pastime, and I know there's plenty of people that really enjoy sports such as football, basketball, and all that, and baseball and stuff like that. But I do believe that there is an issue when you start to elevate sports, where they go from just being something you like to do to where it's like, well, I can't make it to church this Sunday because I've got to watch this NFL game that's playing because it's the big game of the year and I just can't go. That's where things in life start to become sinful. Once you take and elevate anything above God to where you're not giving it your all, when you're dedicating more time to an event, like if you spend more time during the week thinking about football or working on your fantasy team, reading news about football, listening to podcasts about football, if you spend more time in those things than you do praying, reading your Bible, studying your Bible, two different topics we might get into another time, but if you spend more time of the things of this world, which football would be a thing of this world, than you do on the things of God, that's when you start to fall into a sin type atmosphere. Things will start to slowly erode from your life that may have been there before. You may not be as dedicated to the house of God as you were before, and that's where it starts to creep into sin. And just to break into my point a little bit more, I got a few scriptures that I want to share with you guys, so let me grab them my Bible real fast. Alright, let's see. First one I've got for you guys is 1 Corinthians 6:12. This is Paul speaking, and he's really talking about sexual sin in this verse, in this section here of 1 Corinthians chapter 6. But I do believe that you could probably put this into an aspect of anything in life. And it says, "You say I'm allowed to do anything, but not everything is good for you. Even though I'm allowed to do anything, I must not become a slave to anything." So what that's saying is you can't allow something to become your master. We are slaves of God, technically speaking. He is our master. We serve God. That's what we're put here to do. So by serving something other than God, that kind of takes him out of being the master. God is meant to be the master. He's meant to be number one, numero uno of our lives. Like, he's the one that we're supposed to give all of our dedication to. And sometimes we can start to put too much into something else. And it's not just for sports people. Before I start getting a lot of hate, I struggle with the same thing. We try to be very careful when we go on our adventures not to put too much on adventure and too much on travel that would take us away from our walk with God. So that's why we've got this YouTube channel and our website, and we try to strike that balance. But the balance needs to tip more into the side of God than it does into the side of this world. And it is a big struggle that you have to go through, but it can be done. There's plenty of people that do it. I know that our youth pastor at church, He's really into football. I know he loves his Georgia Bulldogs, and it's always a rivalry in their house whenever it comes the Georgia-Tennessee game. But I don't feel like he lets that get out of control. I don't feel like all you ever hear him talking about is football. He's still very, very God-forward in everything that they do, but he still enjoys to sit down and watch a football game. And that shows that there's nothing wrong with sitting down and enjoying a pastime as long as you don't let it go too far and take away from other aspects of your life. And like I said, can go with anything, and we may get into more subjects about that later, about other things that can slowly begin to come into your life that you may start to elevate above God. But right now I just wanted to talk about football because it's so prevalent. And let me get you one more verse real fast. We've got two more. 1 John chapter 2 verse 15 says, "Do not love the world nor things it offers you. When you love the world, you do not have a love of the Father in you. For the world offers only a craving for physical pleasure, a craving for everything we see, pride in our achievements and possessions. These are not from the Father, but from this world. And this world is fading away along with everything this people crave. But anyone who does what pleases God will live forever." So when you start to love the things of this world and brag on the things of this world and talk about only the things of this world, you start to lose the things of God that should drive you. And what pleases God, because our goal is also to please God through our actions and through the things that we do. For instance, if you are somebody that loves football and loves to watch a football game or invite people over to watch a football game, don't just stop at "we're going to watch football." Still try to break those bounds and talk about your faith and talk about God, because that's what we're supposed to do in all things. So if it comes to we're having these appetizers or snacks with the football game, well, you still need to bless those. So don't be shameful of your faith and your calling. Just speak out and go ahead and speak to those other people about your faith, so that way they know that you're for God and you've taken something that you enjoy and used it to glorify God by maybe reaching out to a few people that you're related to or friends with that don't know God. And then our final verse that I've got for you is Matthew 6:24. "No one can serve two masters, for you will hate one and love the other. You will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money," is what this verse is talking about. But it's also the things of this world. You can't serve God and serve football. You can't say that, "Oh, well, I love God and I worship God, but I've still got to stay home and watch this football game because it's going to be the big one this year and I've just got to do it. I'm going to be at church next Sunday. Don't worry about it." Record the football game and go to church. I mean, that's always the option, and yes, you may have it spoiled for you, but you don't want to let loose of God to grab a hold of something like football when it's only going to end. It's never going to continue. It's going to go away eventually. All the things of this world will end, and all we'll be left with is God and His kingdom. So we need to prepare ourselves for that and not build up treasure on earth, because as it says also in Matthew, that as we build up treasure in earth, then those things will rust away and moths will destroy. We need to build up treasure in heaven where we will live on forever, which would be through glorifying God and praising God. I hope this video has helped some of you guys that maybe have gone a little bit too far into football or other sports and got a little too obsessed and maybe lost sight of God in those seasons. But I hope that you'll be able to realize that you can serve God and still enjoy football or whatever other sport that you prefer. But you just need to make sure that you leave God at the top and leave Him number one at all times, because that is the way that things should fall. God, family, and then yourself, and you can add other things into that, but you need to make sure that God is always number one and that you're serving God before you serve other things. I hope this video has helped you guys. If it has, please hit that like button and share it with somebody else you may know. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more great content that we're hoping to produce soon. I can't really say it's great until it's done, but I guess we can have high hopes. Do you have a comment that you'd like to share with me about if I'm wrong, if I'm right, if you think that there's something that maybe I should correct, and if so, go ahead and leave it in the comments. I'd love to discuss it with you, and maybe it'll even spawn another video where I change what I said a little bit because I figure out that maybe I was wrong in some way, or maybe it just opens up videos to where I answer a few more questions about things like this. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and God bless.